For more than 100 years, one property has stood at the center of Vicksburg, Michigan. It has seen prosperity, innovation, economic hardship, abandonment, and now one of the most ambitious redevelopment projects in the Midwest. Today, we're exploring the incredible story of the mill at Vicksburg, a place where history is being preserved while an entirely new future is being built. Looking across the property today, it's hard to believe that this was once one of Southwest Michigan's largest manufacturing facilities. When this redevelopment is complete, these buildings will be home to restaurants, a brewery, a boutique hotel, apartments, offices, event venues, public gathering spaces, and miles of riverfront trails. But before any of that could happen, this property had to earn its place in history. Our story begins more than 120 years ago, in the early 1900s. Southwest Michigan was becoming one of America's paper manufacturing centers. The Lee Paper Company recognized the advantages of building in Vicksburg. The Portage River provided an abundant supply of clean water. Railroads connected the community to markets across the country. The surrounding region supplied raw materials and a growing workforce. Construction of the mill began in 1903, and within a short time, one of Michigan's newest paper mills was taking shape. By 1904, production had begun, and the property continued expanding for decades. New buildings were added as demand increased. Massive brick structures rose along the creek, eventually forming one of the largest industrial campuses in Southwest Michigan. The towering smokestack became the symbol of the village. If you lived in Vicksburg, you always knew where the mill was. It became part of the community's identity. Inside these buildings, hundreds of employees worked around the clock, producing specialty paper. Unlike ordinary newsprint, the Lee Paper Company became known for its manufacturing high-quality coated papers, business papers, catalog stock, book paper, labels, and commercial printing products. Rolls of finished paper left Vicksburg every day, destined for printers, publishers, manufacturers, and businesses throughout North America. At its peak, the mill employed hundreds of people, and for many local families, it became more than just a job. Parents worked alongside sons and daughters. Brothers and sisters worked in the same shifts. Some families spent generations inside these buildings. Nearly everyone in Vicksburg either worked at the mill or knew someone who did. It wasn't simply the largest employer in town. It was the economic engine that helped to build the entire community. Paper manufacturing was an incredible process. Wood pulp was mixed with water and carefully processed before moving through enormous paper machines that stretched hundreds of feet in length. The paper passed through heated drying cylinders, precision rollers, and finishing equipment before being wound into giant rolls weighing several tons. Every step required skilled operators, mechanics, electricians, laboratory technicians, and maintenance crews working together to keep production running 24 hours a day. Imagine standing inside these buildings during their busiest years. The sound would have been overwhelming. Steam hissed through pipes, motors hummed continuously, massive rollers spun at incredible speed. Forklifts carried finished paper through the warehouse while employees monitored every stage of production. For decades, those sounds became part of everyday life in Vicksburg. The paper produced here became part of everyday American life. It was used in the books, magazines, catalogs, advertising materials, business forms, financial records, office supplies, packaging, and countless printed products. Most people never knew where the paper came from, but there's a good chance they handled something produced right here in Vicksburg. The success of the mill helped shape the entire village. Downtown businesses depended on mill employees. Restaurants served shift workers before and after work. Local shops, banks, schools, churches, and community organizations all benefited from the steady paychecks generated by the mill. As the factory grew, Vicksburg grew with it. For nearly a century, their stories were inseparable. But no industry remains unchanged forever. During the final decade of the 20th century, the paper industry faced growing challenges. Foreign competition increased. Technology began changing the way businesses communicated. Computers slowly replaced many printed documents. Demand for certain paper products declined, and older manufacturing facilities became increasingly expensive to modernize. Ownership of the mill changed several times as different companies tried to keep operations competitive. Investments were made, equipment was updated, and employees continued producing quality products, but the economics of the industry were changing faster than many facilities could adopt. The future of the mill became increasingly uncertain. After nearly 100 years of production, the final chapter of paper manufacturing in Vicksburg was approaching. Few people realized it at the time, but the buildings that had powered the local economy for generations were about to fall silent. What happened next would change the future of this property forever, and that's where our story continues. When production finally came to an end in 2001, the impact on Vicksburg was immediate. For nearly a century, those buildings had provided steady jobs and supported countless local businesses. Suddenly, one of the village's largest employers was gone. The machine stopped, the lights went out, and for the first time in generations, the familiar sounds of the mill disappeared. As the years passed, the future of the property became increasingly uncertain. Rain found its way through damaged roofs. Windows were broken. Vegetation slowly crept across loading docks and rail lines. Every season made the buildings a little harder to save. Many communities have watched historic factories disappear this way. Demolition often seems like the easiest answer when a property has been vacant for years. Standing here during those years, it would have been difficult to imagine what the future could hold. Entire buildings sat empty. Machinery had been removed. Hallways echoed with silence. Yet beneath the peeling paint and weathered brick remained something incredibly valuable. One of the best preserved historic paper mill complexes anywhere in Michigan. While many people saw an abandoned factory, one person saw something completely different. Chris Moore wasn't looking at broken windows or leaking roofs. He was looking at craftsmanship. He was looking at history. Most importantly, he was looking at possibility. Chris Moore grew up with a connection to this property. Like many Vicksburg families, his own family's story was tied to the mill. He understood what these buildings had meant to generations of workers and to the entire community. Rather than asking how quickly they could be torn down, he asked a very different question: how much of this incredible place could actually be saved? In 2019, that vision became reality when Chris purchased the property. It was the beginning of one of Michigan's most ambitious adaptive reuse projects. Instead of replacing history with something new, the goal became preserving as much of the original mill as possible, while giving every building a new purpose. That vision continues to evolve today, but one thing has remained constant from the beginning. The mill was never intended to become just another commercial development. The goal has always been to create a destination, a place where history, business, entertainment, hospitality, and community all come together in one remarkable setting. Looking at the master plan, it's easy to appreciate just how ambitious this project really is. Historic buildings throughout the campus are being transformed into restaurants, offices, apartments, hospitality spaces, event venues, and public gathering areas. Instead of separating each use into different parts of town, everything has been designed to work together as one connected community. One of the most anticipated additions is the Boutique Hotel. Guests won't simply check into another hotel room, they'll spend the night inside a beautifully restored industrial building that still celebrates its original character. Exposed brick walls, heavy timber beams, steel columns, and oversized factory windows will remind every visitor that they're staying in a place with more than a century of history. The guest rooms themselves are expected to blend modern comfort with historic architecture. Natural light will pour through restored factory windows. Contemporary finishes will complement original brick and wood. Every detail is being designed to preserve the building's story while creating an experience unlike any traditional hotel. It's the kind of destination that encourages people to slow down, explore, and truly appreciate where they are. The mill is also bringing jobs back to the property. Modern office spaces will provide unique work environments for entrepreneurs, small businesses, creative professionals, and growing companies. High ceilings, open floor plans, and industrial architecture create offices with character that's almost impossible to find in new construction. In many ways, these buildings will once again become places where people come to work every morning, just as they did for generations. Perhaps no part of the redevelopment has generated more excitement than the brewery. For nearly 100 years, these buildings produced paper. Soon, they'll be producing craft beer. Visitors will be able to enjoy locally brewed beverages inside one of Michigan's most historic industrial spaces, surrounded by brick walls that have witnessed more than a century of change. And just outside those brewery doors, another exciting part of the vision begins to take shape. Stepping outside the brewery, visitors will find what promises to become one of the most popular gathering places in the entire property. The beer garden has been designed as more than just outdoor seating. It's a place where people can relax beside the creek, enjoy live music, meet friends after work, or simply spend a beautiful Michigan evening surrounded by history. It's hard to imagine a greater contrast to what this space looked like just a few years ago. Surrounding the beer garden will be several restaurants, each with its own atmosphere, but all sharing the same historic setting. Original brick walls, exposed steel, timber beams, and restored factory windows will create dining spaces unlike anything else in Southwest Michigan. Every meal will come with a reminder that these buildings have been part of Vicksburg's story for more than a century. Not every visitor will come for dinner or a concert. Some will simply stop for a cup of coffee before work, enjoy lunch with friends, or spend an afternoon working remotely from one of the cafes. The goal is to create activity throughout the day, giving people a reason to return again and again. Successful developments don't come alive for just a few hours each evening. They remain active from morning until night. The mill is also embracing the arts. Historic industrial buildings have become some of the most sought-after creative spaces in the country, and it's easy to understand why. Large factory windows fill the rooms with natural light. Open floor plans allow incredible flexibility. Instead of manufacturing paper, these spaces will soon inspire painters, sculptors, photographers, musicians, and local artisans. Imagine walking through a gallery where every room tells two stories at once. One story belongs to the artists displaying their work today. The other belongs to the generations of workers who built their lives inside these same walls. Preserving history doesn't mean freezing it in time. It means allowing new generations to create something meaningful while honoring everything that came before. Beyond the galleries and studios, office spaces throughout the campus will bring new businesses back to the property. Entrepreneurs, technology companies, designers, architects, and creative professionals will work inside buildings that once housed enormous paper machines. It's a remarkable transformation, but in many ways, the purpose remains the same. These buildings will once again be places where ideas are created and people come together to build something important. Community has always been at the heart of this project. Wide pedestrian walkways, landscaped courtyards, public seating, and open gathering spaces are designed to encourage people to slow down. Instead of rushing from one destination to another, visitors are invited to explore, meet neighbors, discover local businesses, and enjoy spending time outdoors. That's something many modern developments simply don't offer. One of the greatest natural features of the property is the Portage Creek. For more than 100 years, it powered industry. Today, it's becoming the centerpiece of the redevelopment. The Riverwalk will reconnect visitors with the water through walking paths, overlooks, seating areas, gardens, and carefully restored natural landscapes. What was once hidden behind industrial operations is now becoming one of the property's greatest attractions. Imagine arriving here on a beautiful summer afternoon. Families stroll along the river. Couples stop to enjoy the view. Cyclists pass through on regional trails. Hotel guests explore the grounds before dinner. Children play in open green spaces while friends gather beneath shaded patios. Instead of the sounds of machinery echoing throughout the campus, you'll hear conversations, laughter, music, and flowing water. As evening approaches, the atmosphere begins to change. Restaurant patios fill with guests. Stirring lights illuminate walkways. The brewery becomes busier. Visitors gather in the beer garden while others make their way toward the event lawn. Every building begins contributing to the energy of the campus, creating an experience that feels vibrant, welcoming, and completely unique. Entertainment will play a major role in the future of the mill. Outdoor concerts, festivals, seasonal celebrations, and community events are all expected to become part of the campus calendar. Imagine watching a live performance with beautifully restored brick buildings surrounding the audience. Few venues anywhere in Michigan could offer a setting quite like this. The possibilities extend far beyond concerts. Farmers markets, holiday festivals, art fairs, food truck rallies, craft beer celebrations, outdoor movies, charity events, weddings, corporate retreats, community fundraisers. The vision is for the mill to become active throughout every season of the year, creating new reasons to visit again and again. When you step back and look at the master plan as a whole, something remarkable becomes clear. Every part of the redevelopment supports the next. Hotel guests dine in the restaurants, restaurant visitors discover the galleries, concert goers stay overnight, office workers enjoy lunch along the river, families attend festivals before exploring downtown Vicksburg. It's all connected. The mill isn't simply restoring buildings, it's creating an entirely new neighborhood built around history, community, and experience. And while the vision is exciting, the biggest question still remains. How much of it has already become reality, and what can we expect in the years ahead? The transformation you see today didn't happen overnight. Before restaurants can open, before guests can check into a hotel, and before concerts can fill the grounds, the first challenge is simply saving the buildings themselves. Roofs had to be replaced. Thousands of bricks had to be repaired, windows were restored, utilities were modernized, environmental cleanup took years. Much of the work happened quietly behind the scenes, but it laid the foundation for everything that's coming next. Looking across the campus today, the progress is impossible to miss. Buildings that once seemed destined for demolition now stand solid once again. New roofs protect structures that had been exposed to the weather for years. Construction crews continue restoring one section at a time, carefully balancing modern building standards with the preservation of historic architecture. It's a slow process, but it's being done with the understanding that these buildings deserve another century of life. As each phase is completed, the campus begins looking less like an abandoned paper mill and more like the destination it was always meant to become. Outdoor seating, landscaped courtyards, and welcoming public spaces are replacing overgrown industrial lots. Visitors won't simply arrive, look around, and leave. They'll spend an afternoon exploring, enjoying a meal, walking the riverfront, and discovering something new around every corner. Picture yourself here on a warm July evening. Friends gather in the beer garden beneath string lights. Conversations drift through the air while fresh food arrives at nearby tables. Local craft beers pour just a few steps from where paper was once manufactured. It's one of the most remarkable examples of adaptive reuse you'll find anywhere. A place where history isn't hidden, but celebrated. As the sun begins to set, the energy of the campus shifts once again. Music starts to fill the air. Visitors make their way toward the outdoor event lawn. Families spread blankets across the grass while others find seats with views of the stage. Behind them, beautifully restored brick buildings glow in the evening light, creating a concert setting unlike anything else in Southwest Michigan. It's easy to imagine this becoming one of the region's premier gathering places. The mill is expected to become more than a destination of tourists. It will become a place where people celebrate life's biggest moments. Weddings, anniversaries, corporate retreats, family reunions, charity galas, and community events all have a place here. Every celebration held inside these buildings adds another chapter to a story that began more than 100 years ago. The purpose of the buildings has changed, but they're still bringing people together. Community has always been at the heart of this project. Farmers markets, holiday festivals, outdoor movies, art fairs, food truck rallies, and seasonal celebrations will give residents new reasons to return throughout the year. The success of the mill won't be measured only by the number of visitors it attracts. It will be measured by how often local families choose to make it part of their everyday lives. The impact won't stop at the edge of the property. As more visitors come to experience the mill, many will continue exploring downtown Vicksburg. They'll visit local restaurants, browse shops, attend community events, and discover everything else the village has to offer. The hope is that the redevelopment strengthens not just one property, but the entire community. History has always connected the mill and downtown Vicksburg, and their future is likely to be connected as well. Projects of this size are measured in years, not months. New businesses will continue opening in phases, additional buildings will be restored, more public spaces will come online. Every completed project brings the overall vision one step closer to reality. While construction continues, the excitement surrounding the mill continues to grow, and each new announcement offers another glimpse of what's still to come. More than a century ago, this property represented the future of American manufacturing. Today, it represents something equally important: the belief that history still has value. Across the country, communities are rediscovering the importance of preserving the buildings that helped shape them. The mill at Vicksburg is proving that historical preservation and economic development don't compete with one another. They can work hand in hand to create something truly extraordinary. Soon, children who have never known this property as a paper mill will grow up making memories here. They'll attend concerts with their families, celebrate birthdays in its restaurants, walk along the creek, watch fireworks over the campus, stay in the hotel, attend weddings, meet friends for coffee. To them, these buildings won't be abandoned factories. They'll simply be one of their favorite places in Michigan. That's perhaps the greatest measure of success any redevelopment project can achieve. For more than 100 years, this property helped write the story of Vicksburg. It provided jobs, supported families, and contributed to an industry that reached across the nation. When the paper machine stopped, many believed the story was over. Instead, it became the beginning of an entirely new chapter. The mill at Vicksburg stands as a reminder that the best way to preserve history isn't always to place it behind glass. Sometimes, the greatest tribute is to give it new life. As restaurants fill with conversation, music echoes across the event lawn, visitors stroll along the river, and lights once again shine from these historic buildings, the mill will once again become the heart of the community, just as it was generations ago. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history, the transformation, and the future of the mill at Vicksburg. If you enjoyed this documentary, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel. I'll continue following this incredible project as new businesses open, construction progress, and this vision becomes reality. I'm Stout. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.